Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's me, Mitch. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. And you know what's coming. Get ready. Here we go. Drink it. Certainly, if you've got it. You, of course, have the option at your discretion not to drink it at all, to never drink it. It's called free will. Well, while people are piling in, it's good to see you all this morning. YouTube has definitely done it to us again. They somehow lost all the early chat that you guys did last night, and it was I didn't get to read it. I'm sure it was the usual stuff and the usual people. I'm glad you had an opportunity to chat with each other, even though we don't have it recorded for posterity. And that's a shame, and I still can't see any rhyme or reason or pattern. I've been trying to find one, but I can't see any consistency other than some random thing happens. I can try posting the thing earlier, posting it later, do all that stuff. None of it seems to make any difference. Just when I think I've discerned a pattern, something like last night happens and just that wasn't it. So sorry about that, guys. I have no control over that. Sometimes I think I have no control over anything that happens in this world. I don't think any of us really do. Keto Emmy says, hey, thanks for the OBS tip yesterday with virtual camera. Worked like a charm. Glad, Amy, I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, this stuff, you gotta learn everything on your own. I mean, there's a million YouTube videos about how to do everything, do this and that, but there's always one little thing that you're stuck on, and it's very, very hard to sometimes ferret that answer out. I deal with that stuff every day. So good to see you all. Good to see you all here this morning. Pretty day here. Supposed to get a scattered thunderstorm or two this afternoon. 72 of you are here so far. So we'll call that a quorum, and we can start. I did glance at the chat starting at 5 something in the morning, and Michael Prager was the first one in on the chat that I see, and as usual, going to hit the gym. And then Tuka says something interesting, and I'm going to address this first off, because, and I'm going to make a whole video about, and I'm going to probably do it today, because I think it's incredibly important to put this whole artificial intelligence thing really in perspective and talk about the reality, because I think between you and me, this will become the biggest threat to the safety and well-being of the human race since Ansel Keys. certainly since the atom bomb was invented. Artificial intelligence is the scariest thing. I choose to ignore it completely. I will not use it for anything. Anytime I see anything generated by artificial intelligence, I take it as nonsense because, and I won't get into it here, but I'm scared of it. I'm scared of what people will do with it. People are bad enough, evil enough, fraudulent enough, scammers enough. Now they've got a platform that they can do it a million times a second. I'm already being bombarded with collaboration offers to sell you things on my channel that are coming from a company that claims that these offers are AI generated. They're bull. It's horrible. I won't buy into it. I won't do it. It's not because I'm old. It's because I'm wary of it. But Tuka came on last Sunday morning and said that he asked Grok 4, which is Elon Musk's super AI, to develop a diet plan for him. And I came down pretty hard on that. And I still am. And then Tuka sent me some lengthy emails and documents that were produced by this AI and asked me to evaluate them. And if you were here yesterday, you heard me say to Tuka, I can't do that. I don't have the time to do that. I cannot, whether it was AI generated or not, become somebody's personal advisor at that level. Not in this channel, not what I do. And certainly not because maybe I don't have an answer, but it would be foolish and folly of me to actually come on here in public and act like I'm that much of an authority, more than any doctor or anything else. That will do nothing but create enemies for me, but I just don't have the time. I did take a cursory look at it, but then all of a sudden it amounted to homework, and I don't have time, my friends, for homework. I'm sorry. And I don't want the responsibility, especially when it comes to AI. So watch the video of mine this afternoon, and I'll explain exactly why I think this is a bad path to go down. And if you think we're the subject to propaganda, lies, corruption, and all that other stuff, think about that times 1,000. And now you've got people relying on this artificial intelligence to do their work for them. So I'm going to talk about that at length. I don't want to do it here. But Tuka. Hello, Mitch. My public apology. I don't mean to be a pain. Tuka, stop. Stop, Tuka. Stop. Just stop. I love you. Everybody here loves you. You are not a pain in the ass. And that an apology is totally unnecessary. I want to make that real clear here. Real clear. You're a very kind and considerate man. And when I told you I can't do that, it was not an admonishment in the slightest. It was just the reality of what I face every day. Then you came on and, yes, everybody's looking for Gary yesterday because Booby, what's his face, became Gary, no slow again, and we found him, so you were concerned, and we appreciate that. And then you came on and said, so I know you really take this seriously. Then you said, oh, wow, I just went to the end of the chat. I got to get back to the beginning now. Hang in there with me, Tuka. Let me get to where I left off. And it was, you said, and I hope you grant me the honor and pleasure. Tuka, it wouldn't be a panel live stream, my friend, without you, okay? So never let your mind go down that avenue of thought where you think that you've done anything anything whatsoever to alienate any of your friends here, especially me, my friend. So I hope that puts that to bed once and for all. And we'll talk about this AI folly. And this is not new for me. I've been following this for years and years and getting more and more afraid of it with each iteration of it that they have. And I did one thing, which I think, I'll show you this one thing. I don't want to give away my whole video, but I'm hoping people will find it intriguing and actually click on it more than the 81 people that we have here. But I'm going to show you something. This is Google. This is a simple question. Best diet for humans. Now, this is Google. Probably one of the largest databases in the world. Every website is indexed on Google, whether it's a carnivore website, a vegan website, a government website, every one of them. Google has access to everybody's opinion about diet. Google then added AI, its own AI, which is no slouch, to this general search function. So now when you do a Google search, you get this thing right here. It says AI overview. And let me get rid of that banner so it doesn't distract us. It says AI overview. And this says, and tell me if this doesn't sound familiar to you. The best diet for humans is generally one that is balanced, emphasizing whole, unprocessed foods and incorporating a variety of fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats. Okay? There isn't a one size blah, blah, blah. Okay, now we got key components. Fruits and vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, healthy fats. Here's what they think healthy fats means. Opt for healthy fats from sources like olive oil, avocados, nuts, and seeds. So they're telling you that seed oils are healthy fats. Limit added sugars. Agree with that. Limit saturated fats. They're lumping saturated fats and trans fats and sodium into the no-no category. Reduce intake of sugary drinks, yes, processed foods, and here we go, and excessive amounts of saturated and trans fats. Well, I'm telling you, my friend, this is a recipe for exactly what we have. This is a recipe for a society that is dying and sick, and this is what Google has deduced. Artificial intelligence has deduced from all of that humongous database full of every bit of propaganda put out by the pharmaceuticals. It's the same crap that we hear every day. And if you rely on this for any cutting edge or new answer, this is what you're going to get. This is what you get from your doctor, your dietitian. It is maddening. It is wrong. Dead wrong. And let me emphasize the word dead. Unreliable information. It is nothing but the sum total of what so-called AI has learned, and they have to be taught. And what they're taught is what we think we know. And right now, what we think we know about healthy nutrition is ass backwards. And we know that. So we can't rely on mainstream anything to give us advice, because that's the society we live in. And all the money is being made, and half the jobs rely on people continuing to believe this stuff, which is why RFK Jr. is getting nowhere, and they're still telling you not to eat saturated fats. Now, if you do a deep dive and you narrow your questions down, and you say things to this AI like, don't include vegetables and fruits in the diet, it'll do that for you. And you can tell it to tell you exactly what you want to hear, and it will. And that's what you get out of artificial intelligence when you really know how to query it properly. You will get exactly what you want to hear. Truth or not, it's there to serve you, master. And that's what Tuka did, I'm afraid. And yes, you probably can narrow it down. I've seen exercises about artificial intelligence where somebody shows you how they can manipulate it into actually say 1 equals 2. And they do it cleverly, but they do it. They outsmart the stupid algorithms that are being used in this. These machines are not intelligent in the least. They're as intelligent as an 18-year-old kid with a PhD who's a scholar. He doesn't know how to think yet, but he knows a lot of facts and he can parrot them in a minute. So please, and I don't mean to take up a lot of time on this point, but please, it is so scary and we're starting to trust this stuff now. I think instead of worrying about artificial intelligence, maybe we should be concerned more with actual human intelligence, because that's becoming a thing of the past as we get lazier and lazier. And the 6-year-olds in first grade are having artificial intelligence write their homework for them. What kind of human beings is that going to produce when we rely on a machine to do virtually everything? You remember the movie WALL-E? Another prophetic movie. Another prophetic movie. Right up there with Idiocracy. Something that should be required viewing for every human on this planet. And then have discussion groups about what it meant. It's scary. It's scary. Okay. That's the lecture for this morning. That'll be the that'll be my opening monologue. And I hope you agree with me. I don't know if anybody's even listening to me. I'm looking at the recent comments to see if anybody is commenting on me, commenting on what I'm saying. DS111, a compliment. Thank you. Mitch Intelligence. I hope so. Not artificial intelligence. This is flesh and blood, human brain working at its optimum capacity in a 78-year-old man who eats nothing but meat. That's what artificial intelligence should be focusing on. But it's not smart enough to know what it doesn't know. It's incredible. Incredible. Brian Dish says, yeah, I was told today by another wise man, you can't teach stupid. Yeah, you can't fix stupid either. All right, Forrest Gump used to say, stupid is as stupid does. It's true. And stupid does not mean ignorant. Stupid means your processor ain't working it at full speed. Intelligence means your database is either full or empty. They're two separate parts. Like a computer, we can compare everything in human physiology pretty much to the way a computer works, only we're much more complicated. We're not as fast, but we're certainly deeper. Our brains run at a frequency of a little over 2K, 2,000 cycles per second. Computers run at billions of operations per second. So the computers can do things a lot faster, but the computers don't have a database behind them that has as many interconnections that allows us to do rational thinking and critical thinking. Computers can't do that yet. Oh, someday we'll program them to do that. But at this stage, to make a machine that's capable of what the human brain is capable of is still way off. Way off. But we'll do it. we made cell phones that are the most incredible gadgets that I could not have imagined 30 years ago. We will do it. We'll figure it out. We do have that ability. So that's it for this morning. Let me say hi to some people. Up to 100 people. Good to see you all. Good to see you all. So I get past Tuka's comments. Yes, I did, Tuka. I hope you understand. Me, Cool Cat says, Mitch, how did your outing go yesterday with your son? It was fabulous. Had a great time. I got there. I said to him, when I got out of the car, I got out of my car, no cane, no walker, no nothing. I said, I'm going full commando today, I said to him. You all know what that means. Most people think it means wearing no underwear under your clothes. I said, I'm going full commando. He looked at me like this. I said, yeah, I'm going full commando today. I'm going without a crutch or a walker. And he was surprised because I hadn't seen him in 2 weeks. He was been gone for 2 weeks. The last time he saw me, I was using a cane, but walking. I said, no, lots happened in 2 weeks. I come a long way. And he said to me, I don't understand the commando reference. I said, well, think about it, Mike. Commando means without support. Without support. What do you think the underwear is for? Without support. I'm going full commando. Oh, I get it, he says. And finally laughed at this joke. Nobody else got that. I told it to my daughter later in the day. She didn't get it either. She thought, why aren't you wearing underwear, Pop? That's disgusting. I guess my analogies are a little too nuanced, maybe, for a lot of people. But I thought it was funny. I thought it was a funny way to describe it. But I had a great time. I had a nice lunch. I walked fast. I kept up with my son. The two of us walked in, arms swinging, up the step before, in there all the way back, and didn't even get tired. We finished, walked all the way back out, got in the car, went our separate ways. I came home, and then I had to rest. Then I said, oh, wow, I didn't realize I did it so much. The food was great. We had delicious brisket. We had smoked wings. I know there was a little sugar in the seasonings. I didn't care. I enjoyed it, and that's what I live for. Moments like that, and being here with you in the morning. Mary M. warns us that last night's comments were deleted. Yes, YouTube did it again. Tina Schweikerath, congratulations, sweetie. Congratulations. Yes. Drinking black coffee, no butter, no cream. It's actually good. She says, I'm surprised. I think it's great. I can't drink it with that stuff. I don't like it with anything in it anymore. You think you've been overdoing the fat? Well, see what happens. If you're only putting fat in it, that's really not bad. But maybe you don't need all that extra fat. Mike Silly Sr. is here. How you doing, Mike? I'm looking forward to seeing Mike and his son, Mike and Mike, on Friday morning at 11:30 a.m. at the Estampa Gaucha Brazilian Steakhouse in Melbourne, Florida, to celebrate my 3rd year, 3 full years of being carnivore. And I'm also going to have a live stream on Friday night at 7, celebrating my 3rd year carniversary. Hope you all can make it and more. And I'm going to have a panel for people to come in. And I don't know if it's going to be a full-time panel where everybody stays all the time, but guests are welcome. People to come in, visit for a short time. And we'll talk about my carnivore anniversary and maybe yours, how long you've been doing it. So looking forward to that. Still having the private community live stream tomorrow night as well. So it's going to be a busy week for me here on out. But anybody wants to come and meet us there, not an official meetup, but it would be really cool if a crowd showed up. We have plenty of capacity, plenty of room for everybody. That restaurant is usually deserted at 11:30. So if you happen to be in the Central Florida or Melbourne area and you want to come over and have lunch with us, be my guest. Well, be your guest. You got to pay for your own lunch. Just want to make that perfectly clear. Peter's here. It looks like the early bird comments. Yes, they did, Peter. They got wiped out. And Jem is here. Good morning, Jem. Want to be able to listen to having new floor. Okay, well, good luck with your flooring, and we'll see if you are in here or not. Danny Blythe checked in. Michael Pregler at 8:06, and who else came in here? Chris Swain came in. Carnivore Dens, how you doing? On the way to the Philadelphia airport. Boy, I'm from Philadelphia. I used to flew out in and out of that airport as a young man many times. Used to fly on planes that actually had propellers on them, airliners with propellers. That's how old I am. Tuka came back in this morning and said, hello, boss and folks. Tuka, I hope you heard my little speech about you this morning, and never feel like you're not welcome around here, please. Claudia Burke came in. How you doing? And Rick is here, and in honor of Rick, we will give one quack for the day, so Rick feels welcome. Main Runner, how you doing? Oh, yeah, my name is Donna Ray. Donna Ray, Main Runner. Donna Ray, Main Runner. How you try to remember things is association. It's a great memory trick. Probably still forget until I see it one or two more times. But Donna Ray, you like it with the hyphen? You want to be called Donna Ray? Or is Donna okay? Donna Ray, nice to know you. Nice to know you. Congratulations on all that running. And Tanya says, morning, Mitch, where's the beef? I think she's referring to a comment that I answered somebody yesterday on one of my videos. But that's another subject I'm going to talk about. Because I did get a couple of comments. Well, my recommendation yesterday of that video that was basically anti-sugar. And the same thing with the 10-year-old documentary that I recommended. And I would say basically every single documentary that's over 2 years old, 3 years old out there, that talks about the dangers of this, that, or the other thing. These particular documentaries talked about the dangers of sugar and had a lot of interesting information, which is all true. And yes, sugar is dangerous. But they act as though sugar is the only danger. And that's a big mistake. But they didn't know better when they made these documentaries. They act like we haven't discovered yet how deadly and evil plants can be with all their defense chemicals. So while they're busy disproving the fact that sugar is bad, they're forgetting the fact that saturated fat, eating no plants, and eating meat is good. So while they spend most of the documentary demonizing sugar, when they get to the point in the documentary where they tell you what you should eat instead, bang, out comes all the same nonsense. Balanced diet of healthy fruits and vegetables. The DASH diet says the plate should be covered, one half of the plate should be covered with colorful fruits. No, but they didn't know that then. So you can't discount, and you can still learn an amazing amount from the research they've done on the sugar aspect, but we can't expect them to tell you to eat 70% of your fat of your diet every day from saturated fat. They won't do that today. They certainly wouldn't do it back then. So yes, when I recommend these videos, you have to watch these videos with that in mind. This is old thinking. But discovery doesn't happen all at once. Discovery happens incrementally. And these videos are kind of a time machine, and to look back at the state of this discovery at the time they were made. Unfortunately, we're stuck with that same old conventional wisdom that you get when you ask Google. Today, the discoveries that we're making, I just say, that sounds silly, haven't been discovered yet. The mainstream people, the 99% of them out there that are fat and sick and unhealthy or on the way to be, still haven't heard of carnivore. They might have heard of it, but they've dismissed it as lunatic fringe. They still believe the dietitians and the nutritionists. I had high hopes for RFK raising the public awareness of this, but as yet, you just don't hear. Once in a while, you hear a little blurb on the news, but the public is not getting the word. And the reason is the powers that be will not let it out. It is being banned and shadowed and censored by the big money that can't and won't see things change. It's up to people like us to talk about these new realities, which have been proven scientifically, that are not publicized and not become anywhere near part of something we call the conventional wisdom right now. It's still, in fact, as far as I'm concerned, going the other way in the general public's mind. The propagandists are winning. They've got all the money. They own the healthcare system. They own the news outlets and the media. And unfortunately, that's people, for some amazing reason, still trust that. Trust that. They still believe Joe Biden, I get political here, was a brilliant man, and Donald Trump is insane and ignorant. They actually believe this and defend it every day. Don't believe your lying eyes, folks. Believe what I tell you. That's what they say. So, another little rant this morning. I'm in rare form today. I haven't even got up to 8:30 yet. B. Matt, how you doing, Matt? Good to see you, my friend. And Terry Sue is here. How you doing, Terry Sue? We're now a gaggle of geese. It's coffee time. You don't have to bend my arm. Yes, yes, yes. And Amy's back. Good morning. Amy Scotter's here. How you doing, Aaron? Booby Ghost, good to see you. Terry Sue made lamb loins last night. Very good. Baby sheep waist. I don't know why I made it less fresh. Oh, that animal rights activism is sinking in. A lot of people won't eat foie gras for that reason. How horrible the treatment of those poor geese are to fatten up their livers. Larry Ryan's here. How you doing? 829. Here's Loretta Books and Beef. How you doing? And don't all keep changing your names. If you change your name, stick to it, because you find out the hard way that once you change your name in Google, it's hard to change it back. And then everybody's sending out search parties for you. Gary, stick with the no slow. That's what we know and love. And I don't know, Loretta, if you're going to stick with the Books and Beef or with Meatitudes. Either way is fine, but just stick with it. There's a lot of times I thought, I changed my handle once when I gave up drones and started preaching carnivore, but that's about it. It's too much of a hassle. For me, everything else is Old Guy Carnivore. All my email addresses, my website name, all the logins and all these different things. It would take me a week to change all that. Amy is back here, 829, and Rick is here at 829, and again at 829, Brian Dish, and it's 9 o'clock, and I'm still back at 829. And the winner this morning is Marla Kelly. Marla, how are you? That's great. Congratulations. And put QQQs in the chat. Put QQQs in the chat if you want me to recognize it. I'm going to do one other thing here. I'm going to throw my buy me a coffee link in the chat in case you should feel the need to help an old guy out. No pressure. Just a thought. Pin that thing. Okay, that's all I'll say about that. Now, I'll start looking for questions because I've been pontificating enough, and you guys are doing all the work here. Oh, wow, look at all the people. I see CB Carmack. Well, let me get to say hello to some of the other people. At any rate, welcome back. Welcome. Let's all welcome back Gary. No Slow himself. Good to see you in the chat again, my friend. Good to see you. Lori Watsup, I said hi to you. Have I said hi to you today? If not, how you doing, Lori? Good to see you, always. Danny is in here. Danny in Boston is here. Hi, Danny. How are you? Mary Ann, I was first in last night. Okay. You're usually first in these days, so I would certainly have no reason to doubt you. Congratulations. And Beathead is here. Kurt, please show Mitch some love. Hit the like button. Okay. And Amy thanks me for the OBS tip yesterday. Yes, there's a lot of subtlety to doing those things. And one thing you'll find out real quick, if you do open StreamYard, and for some reason it opens some camera you have connected to your computer, and you try to hit the virtual StreamYard won't let you change it once it has a real camera there. So that's because of all the different cameras I have. If I only had one camera, it would be okay, but I have all these different cameras and things hooked up to my computer, so it's I have a certain sequence of events I have to do, especially if I use the Firefox browser. I don't have that problem with the Chrome browser, but everything, there's so many different versions of everything. Nothing ever works the same twice. It's kind of like trying to figure out what to feed a human. We don't all react the same, do the same advice. Gary rediscovered his real name. Amnesia is gone. Yes, sir. Let me scroll through here. Lori, another Lori. Oh my. Even more confusing. Lori Helmuth. Welcome, Lori. How are you? Lori Helmuth. Meet Lori Weitzel. Good morning from Western New York on vacation from California. Okay. I don't know if you've gone from the frying pan to the fire there, Lori, going from California to New York, but Florida would welcome you with open arms. And we said hi to Carnivore does already, and Lund, Denmark. Hey, from Denmark. Well, I don't know how to say hello in Danish, but I can say it in German. Guten Tag. Guten Morgen, if that helps. But welcome. Love to see people from all over the world. Peter chimed in and he said, hello, howdy. Howdy, Peter. Howdy, y'all. Everybody is really busy chatting with each other, and that just makes a lot of entries Deborah Wisegal's here. How you doing? Grand Rising Mitch and Mitch Fitz. As same to you. Claudia Burkick is waving to us. Good morning, Claudia. Barbara S. is here. Hello. Good morning, everyone. And I better get moving here, or I'm never gonna get through this in time to try to find any questions that anybody has. But maybe you've heard enough of me lecturing already today. That's possible. Talking about coffees. Janet Boozer, good morning from Jackson, South Carolina. Janet, good morning to you. I haven't seen you before. So welcome. Welcome. I hope you come back and visit. We're here every day, but Saturday. Then go visit Rick. Charge of Mopar. And I was talking about devoting a ton of my time to try to help Tuka navigate the AI answers he got when I don't put any credibility in any war. And why would I want to spend time arguing, because I have to, debating points with AI? I do that every day. When I debate with a doctor, when I debate with the conventional wisdom, when I debate with what they call the common knowledge, and everybody knows. We debate that. We do as carnivores. That's why we get the reaction we get every time we try to tell somebody what we're doing and why. They think we're nuts. Well, where do you think that AI got all its opinions from? From those same people. I can't spend my day debating with a frigging computer. I'm sorry. And I can't spend, if it was something I thought would save somebody's life, I'd work all day at it. But to try to prove AI wrong, or it would be a futile exercise, frustrating, and certainly not worth doing. And I think, Tuka, you ought to throw all that stuff away and just listen and do what we're talking about. We're talking about the repository of any valid information about how to do carnivore, what to eat, is not going to be found on a computer unless you guide it there. And then, like I said, it's just telling you what you want to hear. Gotta know. Terry Sue says, absolutely. He said, people rely on the internet already. We will all fall into the AI trap. Absolutely. We're going to end up like the movie Wall-E. We're going to be 600-pound blobs floating around and having everything done for us by some machine or other that supposedly knows what's best for us. Sometimes you can find terrific prophecy in movies, and 30 years or 40 years later, you look back at those movies and you say, wow, the writers of that movie were futurists. They were brilliant thinkers, because what they're predicted is happening. I don't see any questions yet, but I got to try to catch up. No, I haven't. Helen Smith, hi, Helen. How are you? Good to see you. Mitch, have you read the book Influence by Robert Cialdini? No, I haven't. I get very little of what I learn and what I know from books. I do rely on the internet an awful lot, because if you learn the art of sifting and separating the nonsense from maybe reality, you're getting today's news on the internet. When you read any book, you're getting the author's opinion, and I have no idea how they arrived at it or how they observed it, but I don't need somebody else to give me an opinion on most things. I form my own opinions quickly. I've always had that. ability. Am I always right? Hell no. But it's my opinion. It's why I use that as my disclaimer always. Anything comes out of my mouth is my opinion. I never claim something to be absolute fact. My shirt usually says, I may be wrong. Then it says, but I doubt it. So I'm confident in most of what I say. But they are opinions and observations. And so were Robert Cialdini's. And I don't have the time to read books. I consume such a vast amount of information every day that I'm a Cliff Notes kind of guy. I don't have time to read books. He says, we are so very easily manipulated that it is scary, and this book explains exactly why. I already know exactly why. See, I know it. I've already learned that. I try to incorporate some of that in this stuff, but I know every marketing technique, every sales technique, everything, every reason that the human animal needs these things at a deep psychological level, how we're easily tricked. I've learned that over a course of a lifetime. I could probably have written that book. Is there something that Robert maybe saw that I didn't? Of course, because nobody knows everything. But the general gist of it is, Robert is probably a huge cynic, and so am I, because you're aware of every which way we've been scammed and fooled, manipulated, used, led around like sheep. So I can't read those books, but I would not, certainly would recommend that everybody who is just so trusting and naive open their mind and read a book like that. I've got to the point where I trust no one anymore, and it's sad. It's so sad. And I keep looking for the good in people, looking for people to trust. That contractor that comes out to do work for me, when he says, I need 50% down, I want to be able to give him 50% down without knowing that the likely reality of it is I will never see him again once he's got the money in cash, because he wanted it in cash, because every collection agency in town is after him and he can't run it through a bank account. But boy, I'll do a great job for you, he says. How many times do I have to be scammed before I finally say no more? Well, I've reached that point 40 years ago. I'm glad you brought that up. It's a great subject. And they're all using artificial intelligence now, not only to scam us, but to scam us at the speed of light. Have you noticed how many of these friggin' phishing emails, robocalls you're getting these days? Now they're selling advertising opportunities to YouTube influencers using AI. I've gotten 2 of them already this morning. One of them wants me to sell you weighted vests. And I didn't even read enough of the other one to find out what they're selling. All come from machines. There's not even people involved. The emails say, do not reply to this email. You have to actually click a link in them and be directed. So I'll never do that. No. Not click the link. Don't open the PDF when it tells you, here is your receipt for this $6,000 that we just withdrew from your bank account. And everybody goes, what? Oh no. And they click on that link and they download 30 new viruses and trackers into their computer or cell phone. Don't click the link. Don't even open the email if it doesn't look like somebody that you actually know and trust. That's the society we live in. And there's always somebody that's going to be right there to sell you this antivirus and that bit of protection software and this defender and that other stuff for only $15.99 a month, and we'll protect your credit report at the same time. We're here to save you. And there's like a comment that I just saw go by not too long ago. I agree 1,000%. Nobody is here to save you. They're here, in most cases, to screw you over. And people, yes, fall for that every day. and old widows are having their houses stolen out from under them by these scammers. And people looking for romance on the internet are being scammed by some 18-year-old Nigerian kid. It's absolutely disgusting what human beings won't do to other human beings because of all their survival instincts, all the me first, which is natural, and we all got it. And you can tell how civilized somebody is by how much their ancestors over the previous generations have been able to suppress that programming. And then you get a few these days, a few genuine, kind, decent people trying to make their way in a world full of scumbags. Hey, there it is. I said it. Wow, Mitch, you really are in rare form today. Yes, I suppose I am. I'd rather be positive and tell you. Give you motivational support, and that I can do. I set myself out as an example. I'm firmly convinced there's no way I would have recovered to the point I have now had it not be for carnivore. While the rest of the world is telling me carnivore caused my stroke. I had a comment on that video just this morning that I read, and it said, it was the meat that caused the stroke. If you're a fool, if you think anything else. Yeah. So I hit the user and said, I don't want to hear from you again, my friend. You are truly among the uninformed and ignorant. I didn't get mad by it, but they're out there. And this fool took the time to watch my video so he could make sure he commented and told me how wrong I am. Why not just watch a video and say, I don't agree, and go away? So in addition to being a fool and ignorant, he's mean. He's mean. Why do you say to yourself, why do people have to be that way? Well, I can give you a deep psychological analysis of why he's that way, just like you do when you pay a psychiatrist $300 an hour to go lay on his couch so that he can tell you, blame your parents. I could do that. I know enough about psychology and psychiatry to find something that Freud said way back and attribute your bad behavior to that, because there is a reason for everything, but I don't want to debate that. Lori is a human being, a wonderful woman, smart beyond any of our years, because she knows this one thing, this one fact. You think I'm serious, don't you? That's very flattering, Lori. That's very, very, very flattering. You, my dear, are the smartest woman I've ever met. Revel in that. Oh, that's great. I love it. I love it, friends. I love it. I appreciate being respected. I don't always get respect, and sometimes I don't always deserve it, but it's so nice when it comes along. TS111, yesterday, while walking toward the doors of Target, I had to navigate around an obese man in a wheelchair about to enter the ramp of a transport van and being assisted by an obese driver. It's a shame. We see that stuff all day. We see it everywhere. It's not good, they tell us. Not good to be judgmental. Don't be judgmental. Love everybody, they say. Love the crew of young criminals that are beating your grandmother to death as they're home invading your house and stealing your stuff. And love these people. You need to love them. Don't judge them. Don't judge the guy that conned you out of a bunch of your money. Don't judge the doctor on whose advice your parents died. Don't judge. Come on. Come on. There's not one of you that doesn't judge, especially me. I size up everybody I look at. And in my mind, I do a mental gymnastics, and I say, how did they get like that? What did they do wrong? And me, wanting to help, say, how can I help them? And that's when I have to put on the brakes and say, don't do it, Mitch. Don't do it. And more that I see this kind of stuff, DS, see these crippled up people with the handicap parking stickers and everything, who I know why they're handicapped. Most often, there's a chance it might have been a car accident that broke everything in them. But more than likely, it's because they, like everybody else, fell for all that stuff that Robert talked about in his book. They don't know. I've been around long enough to figure it out. I hadn't been around long enough either to figure it out, which is why I had everything wrong with me. I'm no better than anybody else. I've just been at it longer. That's what the conclusion I've come to. And unfortunately, the older I get, the more judgmental I get. I think that bad behavior part of being judgmental is to let it go any further than just your thoughts. Because the minute you start telling people what to do and that you disapprove, now you're just being mean. And if you don't like what you see, and in your judgment, that person, and you're disgusted by them, or you think they're lowlifes, or you think they're misled, or whatever, you have to just leave it go because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. So, yes, there may have been a very good excuse why there were two fat people helping each other in a handicap van. It could be something totally unrelated to the fact that they are so addicted they can't control it. Most likely it is. But you got to be careful. Sometimes a police officer throws handcuffs on the driver and holds them off for driving under the influence when the only thing they were influenced by was a prescription they got from their doctor, which was totally wrong. And they weren't drinking and driving. And then now their life you have to start proving that it wasn't the alcohol. It was my doctor's mistake. Sorry. So, how's the cop supposed to know? I hide at my home most of the time because this world is full of idiots that'll ruin your life for no reason if you even let them. Yeah, we're all talking about that now. I still haven't seen the first QQQ. I'm up to 847. God, I'm so far behind. All right, I'm going to have to... I've been reading every comment, and that's a trap I always fall into. Chelsea's Adventures is here. How you doing? Good morning to you. And it's almost 9:30, and I'm almost have to start trying to wrap it up, and I haven't even gotten started yet. Oh, no, I like this. Barry Simon says, AI stands for artificial ideas. The word artificial ought to be a giveaway. Artificial is artificial. It doesn't generally mean better. It means usually a poor duplication of the real thing. What would you rather have? Artificial intelligence or real intelligence? Barry, that's brilliant. Absolutely. True. Or as a friend of mine would say, true that. Keto Simple's here. How you doing, Keto Simple? Scott have chimed in. Good to see you this morning. And let's go down here and look for the questions. If I run a little long, it's okay, but I don't want to get the habit of doing 2-hour live streams every morning. Oh, that's nice. Tuka says, I heard you, boys. Good, Tuka. Don't ever think that nonsense again. Please. Please. You know, we all love you. Everybody loves you. And Marie says here, Maurice Winterberger, how you doing from Germany? It's right now a subject I don't think I want to start diving into, but welcome to you. And Peter has been accused of being full of BS by many people over the course of his life. A lot of people think everything comes out of his mouth is true BS. And here Peter has finally elected to look at that problem. And he created evidently a BS scale from 0 to 100 and rates himself at a 73. 73 on the BS scale. Is that what that means, Peter? I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. I'm sure Peter's talking about his blood sugar. Be careful about the anagrams you use. They might mean something else to a lot of people. Yes, I love it. I'm guessing my 400-pound boss's waist is 7 feet. It's entirely possible. Okay. I mean, somebody's chat entries are absolutely priceless. That's why I hate to miss them. And I try to catch them on the replay, but even then, it's hard to keep up with 100 people frantically typing. And here, Michael Pergo says, Mitch still doing lion diet. I'm doing the intermittent lion diet. My invention. I don't see it catching on anywhere, but I'm eating a strict lion diet for 2 days, and on the every third day, I will eat my bacon, eggs, pork, chicken, and then all the other stuff, and pretty much no beef. And then the next day, today is one of the off days. So today I'm probably going to have some chicken thighs. May have some fish. I think there's got to be some nutrients in those foods that are worth having. You just don't need them all the time. So let's. I'm doing it, and it's working. I mean, I think I'm walking and covering better. May have done that anyway. Who knows? But I'm happy with it, and I enjoy eating the beef for 2 days. I don't need anything else. So, yes, I'm still doing it. Dave Furstenberger, question, how much of your day is now walking on your own versus a canine walker? And how is right arm hand function doing? Loved your story on recovery. Let's go. Thank you, Drew. Right now, I would say about half the day, I get to the point where I don't need the walker, but I start to get tired, and I feel like my energy is draining. So I'll start to use it on and off, probably for the rest of the day, without purposely trying to do it, because I did learn that rest is as important as exercise in recovering from a stroke. That's the one advice that you get that's actually, I think, correct. And you can tell. You've ever been a runner, and you know what it feels like to hit the wall. You know that. And I don't care whether you're a fat burner or sugar burner, but sugar burners hit the wall. When they run out of energy, they drop. They collapse. Like an on-off switch. Well, I never quite do that, but I can feel it coming. And it doesn't make sense from an energy standpoint because I'm still burning fat, not sugar. I'm not eating sugar. But evidently my body uses so much energy in the healing process that it doesn't leave much left for moving the muscles. And that's when I do something now that I've never done in my life, and that is take a short nap. And that helps, an hour nap. So about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I just say, well, maybe now I should take a nap. even though I'm ashamed of the fact that I have to, because I used to go like a freight train, and nothing else changed other than the stroke in the course of a single day. Changed me entirely, how my body burned energy and what it used it for. And all this healing takes its toll, evidently. It's the best I can figure. So I just do what my body tells me to do. My body, if I feel sluggish, my body's telling me to rest. So I rest. I just follow the clues. Some days I have more energy than others. And there maybe I may not have gotten the same amount of really good sleep. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah. Ellen is here. Hi, Ellen. Always good to see you. Always good to see you. You came in at 9:08, about 25 minutes ago. Oh, I've gotten that far, have I? I'm looking for the questions. I'm going to run through them here. Attendance is good today. It's a little above average, but not much. There's one question, Mitch, Meathead. For those delving into starting streaming, editing on any platform, what build do you use or recommend? A PC specs? Well, Kurt, that's kind of a long answer there. But I recommend, well, I'm not an Apple guy. I hate Apple. I hate that. You talk about a cult. You talk about a company that controls what you can and can't do on their hardware. Forget it. So I'm a Windows-based guy. I use Windows 11. And I use a gaming PC. A PC with a good graphics card and a powerful processor and a lot of memory. If you're going to do serious streaming. Or you can stream with as little as a cell phone and do a good job of it if you set it up right. Or a tablet. But that's a very complicated subject. And there are 10 million YouTube videos on that from guys probably more qualified than me to talk about it. Questions. Ellen, let me talk about the romance scammers. Yeah, people sending money to hot chicks and guys they think are real and really interested in them. Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And they end up being 17-year-old boys somewhere in Africa, Nigeria, or women. Get sometimes even communicate with these guys and keep them stringing along until they get every dime this person has. Totally ruin their life. And there are thousands, and that's also another topic for a very popular topic for YouTube videos. There are a number of very large channels that make a fortune just exposing these scammers. And you get hooked on those things. I watched a couple of them, and they were fascinating because everybody likes to see the bad guy caught. That's a common theme in movies. You see the bad guy caught. And it's a real thing. It's not, it's real. And there's always going to be some thief or group of thieves who figure out a way to capitalize on every weakness that people have. Stephanie Boyd said, I agree. I stopped it. I was using the internet back when the day before it got so scammy, but I haven't done that in 10, 15 years now. Dating sites are full of scams. You don't trust anyone is real. At least the worst I had to put up with was meeting women who had put up pictures of themselves from 25, 30 years ago. I can't tell you how many coffee dates I walked into. I met my great-grandmother, who in her picture looked to be my age or a little younger. And then first thing he is, I apologize for my old picture. Well, thanks, Granny. I just drove 100 miles and spent most of my day coming to meet you, and I meet my grandmother. I never said that to them because even after I've been scammed like that, I'm still cognizant of other people's feelings, and I felt sorry for them. Usually even sat down and had a cup of coffee with them and tried to get the hell out of there as gracefully as I could. Laurie, if I can do nothing else, thank you. Nothing else than that. I try to keep it real. I'm a realist. I believe in reality above all things. Some things just don't make sense, and people believe them anyway because it's what they want to believe. All right, I'm slowing down again. Here's a question from Meathead. Do you think these remove your data from data burger, original burger support your information? Do you think these, I don't know what you're talking about. We talk about these services. What's the name? I've seen them advertised. No, I don't buy into any of that stuff. They usually advertise, we're going to fix your credit. We're going to remove all your information from the databases. And what they end up doing is taking the information they get about you and selling it to a whole bunch of other places. I don't participate in any of that stuff, and certainly won't pay money for it. And somehow, it's like, did you realize this? Think about this for a second. We all get junk emails constantly, don't we? We get junk emails. We also get spam phone calls, but we get junk emails. Well, the law requires that if you send a mass email, that there be a link at the bottom of the email to unsubscribe. So what do you think? If I click that link, at the bottom of that email, it says unsubscribe. They're going to unsubscribe me? Hell no. When you click that link, they know you're a real person and it's a live email address. And you actually responded. So they know they've got an email address that is now verified as active and monitored. They then put that on a list that they sell to 1,000 other bulk emailers, and your email box explodes with crap the next day. That's happened to me. I had to learn that the hard way. I'm trying to make sure I get fewer emails, and everything I click on just makes the number of junk mail I get explode even more. Don't click those links. Don't do anything. Just report the address as phishing to whoever your host is, whether it's Apple or Microsoft. Just report it and delete it. I've got to the point now where by doing that for a couple of years, I don't get nearly the level of junk mail that I used to. So don't click the links, even if they say unsubscribe, unless you know who it is. Now, if you're a member of a website and you're getting a newsletter from them and you're tired of it, you know it's a real thing, yeah, you can unsubscribe. But to something you don't know where it came from, never got the before, do not give them a clue. Just like a spam phone call. You answer the call. You don't just let it go to voicemail. You answer the call. They've got you. They know it is a human being on the other end, and you get moved up the line to yet another list of numbers that they now have verified will be answered by a human being. And those lists cost a lot more than just a bunch of phone numbers. When I told you I'm at my age, there is very few ways that I haven't been had once, twice in my lifetime. I mean it, and I've learned from it. Which is why I'm such a cynic. Peter says YouTube wants Mitch to make fun of me. Of course, Peter. That's what I live for. That's how you know how much I love you. Okay. We gotta go, guys. It's getting to be quarter till, let's see, where am I? 9:27. Let me just run through this, not even reading it, just looking for the big cues. Looking for the big cues. It was fun today, guys. Ellen says, Mitch, here's the question based on the chat. What do you think of fake boobs? Are you honest? You want an honest answer? Do you really want an honest answer? I'll give you one. They disgust me. They turn me off. I find nothing appealing about a woman. I'd rather have a woman with very small boobs than big silicone ones. I can't understand how these guys go to these strip clubs and watch these women. Everything about them is artificial. I guess it's the word artificial. No, I think it's stupid. I think it's stupid and superficial. I don't find it attractive, and that's not a conscious thing. What we find attractive and unattractive is actually built into us. We have no control over it. Some men love big fat women and are turned off by a thin woman. There's a reason for that somewhere in his ancestral past. They have psychological surveys where they show men and women different shape and size, different faces, and say, which one are you more attracted to? A lot of the dating sites use these to try to narrow down who you might be interested in. But no, Ellen, no. I got to the point where if I suspected a woman of that, I would not even want to date her. Why? Why would I want to enter into a relationship with someone so insecure about their appearance and superficial that they would spend $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for a procedure which could make them very sick, just so they could attract some man? And if that was me, the kind of man that would be attracted to that is not the man that I would want anyway. So there's my answer. You wanted an honest answer, so I gave it to you. Once again, proving I'm different than most people. And acknowledge it. Yeah, Peter chimed in, and smaller will prevent back problems too. You know that. I'll tell you, you know that. I can't imagine some of these big women. A lot of them these days are having breast reductions just because of the fact that it's hard on your back. All right, we're getting involved again. I'm getting immersed in it again. Okay, I'm catching up 9:38. Oh, you guys keep going faster than I can keep up with it. I'm not even reading now. I'm just scrolling. Got to be coming up on the end of this thing. Hey, see, Lexi's here today. Lexi Jones, how you doing? Good to see you, sweetie. We're talking about going braless. Yes, no, there's a topic I could get it fully immersed in. Honest. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Lewis is here. Hi, Lewis. I didn't see your post, but I see you are here. Good to see you. And now we're talking about buying bras. Okay, it has digressed to that, my friends. And DS111 chimed in. Mitch would eat pastrami meat. Someone gave me a frozen 80-ounce pack. It's good. Oh, yeah, goddamn, pastrami. You're talking to a Jewish boy here. I grew up on that stuff. Pastrami, corned beef. But would I eat it now? I'd look at the ingredient list. I would be concerned about how much sugar, really. That's the spices. I'm not that much of a plant Nazi that's why I drink coffee. It's not going to hurt. As long as it doesn't, I'm worried more about it, not the damage from the small amount of what's in the spices. We can handle that, but whether it creates cravings for them, which means you then start eating nothing but pastrami. And I mean, come on, DS. What in the hell is a pastrami? Well, a couple of slices of big, fat Jewish rye bread wrapped around it. Mm-hmm. And that's where it leads. That's where it would lead me. So I put all that stuff in my past. I've certainly eaten my share of it. But I would just be concerned about whether it contains a lot of sugar or preservatives or chemicals that you don't know what they are and can't pronounce. Other than that, If it's not a lot of it, then it's only going to be for a short time, and you really want to eat it, don't let me stop you. Because I probably eat it too. Oh, we're there. We did it. We did it. We did it. We did it. Now we're getting really wild and woolly. So my friends, it's that time. It's that time for me to fade off into the sunrise and go to work and be back here tomorrow morning at 8:30 for morning coffee with Mitch. And I still got a little coffee, maybe a sip less. So I'll finish my coffee. You guys say goodbye to each other in the chat. Don't forget to use my Amazon links as you feel the need to spend your money. And Grace the Lily talks about when I had my stroke over 4 years ago, I lost all my Spanish, Romanian, Siberian, Latin, Roma, and French. Wow, wow, wow. 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 I didn't know that. Boy, it's been some recovery for you. So everybody saying goodbye. Chris, Wayne, Mike Sealy, Meathead, Rick, Amy, goodbye to you. Turamir, goodbye to you, my friend. Lori, Lori Weitzel is saying goodbye. And Thomas is here. Hi, Thomas. Didn't see you before. And Lexi and Aaron and DS111 and Claudia Burkick. Have a great day, everybody. Rick says, see you tomorrow. Charging mower. I am putting the carb back on the mower. That's a different kind of carb, meaning carburetor, not carbohydrate. And everybody say goodbye. So will I. My friends, you take it all easy. I will see you tomorrow morning at 8:30. For now, take the rest of the day off and eat meat.